Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a quick little playthrough of a game that I've had for a long time, and I've had it on the table before in a couple of different versions. It's a lot of fun, little storytelling game. In this case, it's called Escape the Dark Sector. And since I've been on a bit of a sci-fi kick with some of the stuff lately, including my little video series, my short film series that I've been displaying on the channel, I thought I'd do a little sci-fi style game, and that's what this is. This is basically, if you want to look at it this way, it's kind of a semi-choose-your-own-adventure roguelike game or roguelite game where you're trying to escape a space station that you've been captured and imprisoned on for whatever reason, and you have to go from room to room trying to battle your way through the rooms in the hopes that you will survive and get out to be able to get off the ship. And that's what we're going to do today. At the end, you fight a big boss, too. Well, if you make it to the end. So we're going to play that. I picked only two characters. We're going to do a two-character run. It's going to be crazy. We have, from our crew, and I'll go over what all these guys actually do, but this is the service record for Lieutenant Cook from the Galactic Alliance. And you can see there's might, wisdom, and agility, I think it is. But anyway, the stats, I'll have to look at the book of the stats, actual names, but that's what they are. This basically shows that they're special die. Like, each character has a special die that they will use in the game. Here is Lieutenant Cook's die, and this reflects how many faces have these symbols on it. So he's highly might-driven, hand-to-hand combat-driven. And you can see there that one of his special faces, for example, is this double fist, which means he gets 2 hits of that nature, and when he rolls the shields, he defends himself against all damage for that round. So that's basically the whole thing. The crew artwork is pretty cool. I like this old style artwork too. It's kind of neat. But he also has this implant that basically says whenever you roll 1 or more hit dice, you may re-roll each of them, applying only the second result. And so he will probably be doing that a lot. We also will have weapons. We haven't done that yet. There's some setup things that I'm still going to do in this video, but I wanted to talk over the characters a little bit first and then set up the rest of the game. We're going to have Lieutenant Abbott as well. He's going to be our other guy. You notice he's got some strength too, very little wisdom, I believe that is, and good agility. So he's a good mix right there. Those are going to be the two characters that we have going into the scenario. Now, there are other characters. We're not going to take a look at them today, but there's his die right there. And they just get the one die. Now, they're going to collect other dice from their weapons and things of that nature as we play. Now, here's their health tracker. You can see that I have it on his name there. Now, you also have some paper ones that allow you to track up and down, but this is more convenient. I thought they started on 12, but this doesn't go any higher, as you can see, than 11. So we're going to be, as you can see, it's kind of weird. I think I might start there and call it 12. I don't know. Anyway, but 11. So we're going to have a little bit of a deficit from my understanding and start with 11 instead of 12, which could be the demise of us. So I'm going to check that out just to be sure, but that's the way it goes. Here's an old version of one that I did with the paper tracker, the medical record with the paper tracker. You get a whole stack of those as well, but why waste them when we have these little boards? We will be rolling a lot of dice in this game, and it's really random. So just get ready for that. I'll show you how random it is in the setup of the game, okay? So in the first thing we're going to do in the setup of the game is we're going to draw, and I don't have them all sleeves because I didn't have sleeves for all of them, but I don't know what they are. I haven't looked at them in a long time. Like, I couldn't tell you, except for the ones I dropped, couldn't tell you which ones are in the ones that aren't sleeved and which ones aren't. So this is going to be, as you can see here on the back, it says, do not read until you have completed the last chapter. This is it. This is the final boss right here. So we're going to shuffle up. We're going to cut one more time and draw the first one. So this is going to be the first card that goes down in our mission deck. The rest of these are going to go back into the box. They will not be used at this time for our play session. That's it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the level 3 ones. These are the hardest chambers, the ones with the most, the biggest challenges. You can see they're sleeved too. We're going to draw 4 of these. We're going to put them on top of that card, that last mission card that we got. It's going to determine what we have. So 1, we'll just keep cutting around. 2, give us a good variety. 3, and let's do a double cut here for 4. There's our 4 level 3 cards. Then once again, these go back into the box. And the box has nice. The deluxe box has some nice storage there, so that works really well. You just put them in their slot. That's where they are. Here's the level 2 ones. You can see the radar blips are 2. That's how you know. So we're going to do 4 of those. Okay, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So make it nice and random and fun. It's going to be crazy times had by all. And then last but not least, not last but not least, we also have the starting card. But we're also going to have the ones. We're going to do this exact same thing. 4, 4, and 4 for our run. If we can survive them all and beat the last boss, we win. If we don't, then we lose. 1, 2. This game, by the way, isn't that easy. 3. And I'm just as likely to lose as to win. I seem to have a good mix of both losing and winning in this game. So we'll see how it goes. Now, the last thing that goes on top is where you begin. So, turn over to begin. So we're going to draw one of the 4 again. A couple of them are sleeved, a couple of them aren't. I don't know the difference, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be cheating by not drawing one of the ones that are whatever. We're just going to draw whatever comes up first. This one. Okay. That's going to be our starting card. Our starting card is going to give us different things. The reason I haven't completed setup for the characters is because the starting card usually determines what kind of starting stuff you have. There is a set of starting equipment that we'll be getting. Now you see all these dice up here. Now these are dice, sort of. These ones we do roll. These ones up here, these ones we do roll. These ones we really don't. We kind of roll them and then they stay static because they're going to represent the strengths and weaknesses of the things that we encounter and what we have to do. Now we do have to determine who goes first into the room, and that's where this big token comes in. It says you on it. So there's a lot of the cards that say you do this, and that means you, the person that entered the space. Now, since Lieutenant Cook is our big hand-to-hand guy, and sometimes you can get ambushed in hand-to-hand, we're probably going to start with him. So I'll put that on him, and then we're going to get going. But like I said, we're not actually done with the setup yet, because the first thing that we're going to do, well, we are done with it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this over and start our adventure. But I wanted to cover a couple things. One is flanking. During an encounter, if we're fighting something, we can flank it. That means we put our die there, and we roll to see if we're hit. If we're not, then we get the flank next turn. It says, in the next flank round, you must make a flank attack. And a flank attack is great. We get to do all kinds of hits with them not being able to stop any of it. It's pretty good. It gives us advantages, basically. And then we also have this medical drone. Same thing here. We can put that there, and at the end of our turn, we're going to turn this over, but we're going to gain a hit point back. And as you can see, we don't have that many, so it's a pretty good deal to get some hit points. But now let's turn over our first card. Now, I'm not going to do anything fancy. This is not my blinged out game series like I've been playing. So this is going to be a straight up just playthrough of this fun game to get us kicked off for the new year and see what we want to do for the future. I have a whole bunch of other games I want to get going, but this one is just going to be fun. And like I said, since I'm already kind of doing a sci-fi themed thing with my video series that I'm posting, which I hope you're enjoying, please help me support that. That's been a lot of work and a lot of fun, but a lot of work. So any support you can give just in sharing, liking, and subscribing to all my channels, that would be wonderful. So here we go. We're going to turn this over and we're going to get started. And I love the artwork. The old artwork is pretty neat. You can see we're in some kind of weird cell. There's some weird markings there. It says, with great effort, you prise open your cell door and slip out into the eerily quiet passage, only to be confronted immediately by 2 more. Which way, as a group, choose one option. The door to the left. Discard the first act chapter card without looking at it. Then draw a starting weapon, and for each member of the crew. Okay, or we can go to the door to the right. Add 1 act card, 1 act chapter card, and at random to the top of the mission deck without looking at it. Then draw starting weapons cards for each member of the crew. Then draw 2 item cards. We're going to make it harder on ourselves, of course, but we're also going to get some extra items. After you've made that choice, turn to the first chapter card. So we're going to take the second one here. So Lieutenant Cook steps in the room. He has to make a decision. Which way does he go? He's going to go to the right. It says add 1 card to the chapter. We'll get those Act 1 cards out. It means we're going to have an extra one that we have to deal with. Could be good. You never know. And there it is. But we're each going to get a starting weapon. So let's see what each of our characters is going to get. And we're going to get 2 items. This big fat deck right here, which I didn't talk about, are the items. So let's see what we get. So the first thing that's going to happen is Lieutenant Cook is going to draw a ray gun. So how does this work? You can see that it has this little symbol here. It shows you how much ammo here is here. That means that in this case, we're going to get one of these dice on this thing. And when we attack, we're going to roll it. If we roll this symbol, it says the weapon overheats. You lose 1 hit point. So that's bad. I think there's only one symbol, but there's some misses and there's some hits. And it has 1 ammo. So we can shoot it in a round of combat. And once it's empty, we can reload it and put more ammo back into it. But that takes our action, right? So it's kind of like we don't get a lot of shots with these ranged weapons. But what do we get otherwise? Let's see. We're going to get, wow, a slug pistol. Big, heavy slug pistol. Got 1 ammo, fire rate of 1. But if we do that, it does double damage and the weapon jams. Or that means the weapon jams. So if we hit that symbol, the weapon jams. Now, what dice does this use? It uses these ones. You can see it's got one of these symbols on it. It's got a couple jam symbols on it. So those are the 2 starting weapons that we're going to get. Now, we also get to pick 2 items. Now, the way that items work in the game, you have basically 4 item slots. If they're vertical cards, you can have 4. If they're horizontal cards, it limits and lowers your item totals, but you can have a total of 4 slots. So basically, if you're looking at this card, you consider it a slot. You can put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and that's your 4. But there are some cards that are vertical, usually bigger weapons, right? And if you have those vertical ones there, they count towards 2 slots. So we'll take a look at that. See, here's the first one. We get a expired meds. Okay, discard to restore 2 hit points to your crew member. Well, that is going to, because it was the first one we drew, that is going to go to Lieutenant Cook. So now he has 2 items in his slot. I think you get the idea, right? And then we're going to draw another one for, and we can decide, it doesn't have to go to Abbott, but it probably will. Oh, there we go. Big gun. Beam emitter. We're going to give that to Abbott since he's not as buff in melee combat. Look, it's going to have 3 ammo. It has a fire rate of 3. Not 1 to 3, just 3. So when we shoot it, boom, it's a big shot. But when we get that, it equals 1 hit and the weapon overheats. We lose 1 hit point. So we've got to be a little careful. It's a big, beefy gun. And I'll kind of show you how the inventory works there. But we're going to put 3 more energy tokens like this on that beam emitter. And then our big giant deck of items is going to go back. So, like I said, it's got 3 ammo on it, and then we get these stats. So we put the 3 dice in here. When we fire it, we've emptied it out in 1 shot, but we could potentially hit something 3 times. That's pretty beefy. So when we shoot that. Now, a couple little rules things. Once you go into melee combat, hand-to-hand combat, you can no longer back out and continue ranged combat. So you want to, in some cases, stay in ranged combat for as long as you can. And get those shots off and reload and do your flank attacks and all that good stuff. So let's get to the next room. So we decided to go to the right. We know that's extended our trip just a little bit longer, but look what we got out of it. Some meds and a big giant beam emitter weapon. And here we go. Let's go. So we see the radar blip, 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 blip. We're going to go to the next place. What do we find? That's an interesting looking room. Okay. It says the room is lined with magnetically sealed deposit box filled with contraband confiscated from detention block prisoners. Well, we just escaped those cells. Now we moved into this place. As a group, choose one. Now, I did still have Lieutenant Cook go in first. Move on. Time is of the essence. Turn to the next chapter card. Hack. Nominate a member of the crew to try and hack the terminal to open the box. To hack, you must roll a wisdom roll. So that would be Lieutenant Abbott. He's the one with the... No, actually, Lieutenant Cook, I think, has more wisdom. I got to look at the stats. I don't remember which one's which. Wisdom roll in 1 attempt, and they can try hacking up to 3 times for each success draw on item card. 2 on a double wisdom. For each failure, the overhead security shock nodes activate and the hacker loses 2 health. Ooh, so we can try and hack this. And just so you know, wisdom is this symbol here. So the person that has the best wisdom is going to be Lieutenant Abbott. I can't imagine why we wouldn't try and hack it at least once, right? I mean, he's got a good chance. I mean, he's got a really good chance. Look at how many symbols. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's got a good chance. Okay, I think we're going to do it. We're going to try and hack it and get some stuff. For each item we hack. Now, he got doubles on there, so he might be able to hack 2 items at once. And then hopefully we don't fail and get electrocuted and lose health. Okay, Lieutenant Abbott, let's go. He's hacking the device. Now, the good news is that it doesn't increase how many spaces we have to go, even though we said time was of the essence. Let's see what he gets. Oh, he failed right off the bat. That is typical of my luck. So I'm going to say we start at 12. 11 and 10 because you're supposed to start at, wait, is there, wait, is these different? No, okay. Okay, well, we're going to be at 10 because we're supposed to start with 12 health. If he fails, can he try again? For each failure, 6, I can keep going. Man, what are the odds? The odds are good with us. So we're going to try one more time. I know that puts him down to 8 or 10, but we're going to go again. He got 1. Okay, so that's going to draw us 1 item. We popped open one of the lockers. What do we get? Stable rations. Discard 1 to add a hit point. Okay, so he's full. His inventory is. He's going to keep that himself. His inventory is full right now. But I think he's going to go one more time and see if we can get something for Lieutenant Cook. A double! Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so he does get double wisdom, which means he does get to draw 2. And I think we're going to stop there. It does say terminal to hack. I can do it up to 3 times. So this was my 3rd attempt, and that's it. So we failed. We got 1, then we got 2. So we got stims. After rolling your crew die, and before applying the results, you may change the results to cunning. And cunning is the eyeball. So I was wrong on all the stats. But that's okay. So that's going to go into Lieutenant Cook's gear right now, because that's good for him too, because he's got very... Well, he's not bad on cunning. You know, we should probably... I'll leave it there for now. Okay, and then force field. When you would lose any amount of hit points, discard this to not lose any. That's good. He'll keep that too. So we're loaded with items now. We're ready to go. We're going to head into our second room, but our guy, Lieutenant Abbott, did take a little damage. Okay, we're going to continue our trek after breaking into these magnetically sealed containers. We got some stuff, and now we're going to move on. What do we get? Found some robot guy or somebody working on a droid or something. You can see that we're going to end up having a fight. What this means. You pass a room where an engineer is repairing droids. She is so absorbed in her work that you spot an opportunity to steal from her. As a group, you can choose one option. Move on. Why endanger the mission? Turn to the next chapter card. Steal. Nominate a member of the crew and roll cunning in 1 attempt. Success. You definitely retrieve what you can. Draw 2 item cards. Failure. We end up in a fight. You know what? We're loaded, right? We got lots of gear, and the goal is not to defeat everything; it's to get out. So we're going to pass up on this. We're going to take the option of move on as a group. So we snuck past this engineer working on a droid. She didn't even notice we were there, and we slipped on by with our guns and stuff. Okay, moving on to the next card. Whoa, what's going to happen now? All right, that doesn't look good. There's like sleeping chambers. A wrong turn leads you right into the guards' barracks. Row upon row of slumbering security personnel. Fortunately for you, a lone guard is on watch duty. She sees you. You both freeze. You must make a choice. Well, this is Lieutenant Cook. He's still leading the way, and he's perfectly healthy. Run. You roll for cover and sprint into the darkness. But the guard gets off 1 shot before he vanishes. You must roll a hit die, or we can steal and run. You swipe something from underneath the berth, then run for it. You must roll 2 hit dice, then draw an item card. Again, I think we're going to run. Running is the better part of valor in this case, right? So we're going to take off running. We're not going to fight this person, so we're going to roll 1 hit die to see what kind of damage we take. This is a hit die, so we're going to roll that in the bowl here. And Lieutenant Cook may take a hit. He does not, so the guard missed us as we whizzed by and ran down the hallway, evading all of the soldiers. Now, they may have woke him up, but where we've run into the darkness, they're never going to find us. At least not that I'm aware of. But we're going to keep on going. Remember, we got lots of cards to go. We're still on our number 1 cards. We're going to just a couple away from going to our 2nd level here. That looks bad. Okay, a squadron of security drones comes flying towards you, weapons humming, lasers piercing the gloom. You've been tracked. Well, that makes sense after just leaving the barracks, right? So really cool thematic event there. Begin combat. Combat special. You are locked in a tractor beam emanating from the lead drone. You are released when the 3 chapter dice have been removed. Okay, that's these. When 3 chapter dice have been removed. Until then, you must roll a hit die at the beginning of each round and can take no actions. Whoa! What? Hold on. Combat special. You are locked in a tractor beam emanating from the lead drone. You are released when 3 chapter dice have been removed. Until then, you must roll a hit die at the beginning of each round and can take no actions. I have to understand that because how do we get rid of the chapter dice if we can take no actions? That's confusing to me. So we're going to have to, maybe, I don't know, I'm going to read about that and see if I can figure that out. That one's confusing and puzzling to me. Okay, so combat and actions are not the same thing. That's interesting, you know, I get all, so too many rules in my head. The actions, the standard actions that you can take, like shooting is not an action. The following actions can be taken by members of the crew in either ranged combat or close combat. I can't do these until I've taken away 3 chapter dice. We'll see how that works in a moment. I can't reload, I cannot activate the drone, I can't trade, and I can't take cover. Taking cover means that I go, you could always not be in the fight that round, and you can back off to take cover while the other person handles the brunt of the damage. Now, what are we looking at? So we have these chapter dice here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set out, for this guy, we're going to set out 2 fists, 2 might, 1 whatever that is, 1 cunning, and 1 wisdom. And then, because it shows this meeple symbol with 1, it means we're going to roll 1 more die for each player that we have, and that's going to represent a more hits that we have to do to it. So we've got another fist and another might and another cunning, and that's what we're going to have to take out to defeat this guy. So before we get rolling our combat, we're going to look at some other things. What does this mean? It means when we destroy it, we get 3 items. It means that in ranged combat he does 1 damage, and in hand-to-hand combat he does 1 damage. What does this mean? This means in ranged combat, slug weapons are going to do 1 for each hit, energy weapons are going to do 2 for each hit, 2 damage, removing 2 of these, and explosive weapons will do 2 for each hit. So that's what we're faced with. Now, we can go in any order we want. We're in combat. The only thing I have to worry about is when things say you, we're still talking about Lieutenant Cook. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll both of our dice first, but we're going to have to, I think the first thing is we're going into ranged combat. So when in ranged combat, I think the first thing we're going to have happen is Lieutenant Abbott is going to fire his big giant beam emitter, and hopefully we have a little luck there, because that beam emitter is very valuable in this thing because it could wipe him out. Let's hopefully we get a big attack. Now, oh, look at that, 3 hits, not big double hits, or, oh, actually the double hits thing doesn't do well in this. It means we overheated, but we didn't. We actually did 3 damage. How cool is that? So we can take off 3 of these symbols. Since we have a lot of might capability, I think we'll take off, the weakest is going to be the cunning, so we're going to take 2 of those, and those go back into the pool, and then we're going to take 1 more. We might as well take, we'll take 1 of the might, because that's still quite a bit, and then all 3 of these go back in the pile. Our gun is unloaded right now. We went bam, and we shot the heck out of these drones. Very effective. Okay, and then we're going to also shoot this ray gun for for Lieutenant Cook. He's going to shoot the ray gun. You notice I'm not rolling their chapter dice. I'm rolling specifically these attack dice for the ranged combat. And oh, that's good, isn't it? Well, it's not good. We did overheat the weapon. He does take a damage, but he also does 1. So it equals a hit. So he does go down to, he's now at, I'm going to put him down at 10. I think we'll just say we had 11 hits. So he's at 10, he's at 9. We'll just go with the flow on that. But that does do another hit to the enemy. Of course, we burn through our ammo, which means we're going to take, we'll take this one off. So basically, we got him down to 3. Guess what? We can take actions now. However, we are going to take a die. I should have rolled this with the hit. From him, he can do 1, and he does. He does 1 hit point. I think we'll just have our guy, Lieutenant Cook, take the hit. He took the hit. So there's a big round of ranged combat. Now, here's a problem. Lieutenant Cook doesn't have any, he's out of ammo, so he'd have to reload, which is fine. But we're pretty close to beating this guy. I might just charge in and fight him. We both have good strength, right? We can close that. We can just automatically choose to close with him and not have to worry about reloading our weapons. And then they'll reload in between the chapters. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to charge on in. He still only does 1 damage to us. Not a big deal. He will do automatically, though, 1 damage if we don't defeat him. There's no... I don't think in melee he has to roll hits. A little bit of a refresher for me here. Let me just double check. I think the hit dice are just for ranged combat. But let's just take a look between ranged combat. Yeah, we're gonna roll those dice for shooting. Yep. Okay, and it's 1 die. And melee combat, close combat. Yeah, he just does the damage. We have to defend against it. So we're gonna rush in because we're gonna kill him anyway. There's Lieutenant. There's our 2 dice. We're gonna roll. They both go in to beat him. Lieutenant Abbott's gonna try and beat him with the butt of the beam emitter, and Lieutenant Cook just got heavy enough gloves on. He's gonna brawl with the guy. So what do? Well, we did 1 fist. That's not good. We did take out 1, but we are gonna take a point of damage. I think Lieutenant Cook will just take that. He's down to 8. That's not great, but we're going to do it again. So we took a point of damage. We got 1 more round to do. Now I can stop this and have healing, so we're going to do some healing, but let's see if we get there. Oh, look at that. Double fists, triple fists. We got him now. If you take their last die, they don't hit back. So if I had rolled this for Lieutenant Abbott last round, he could have avoided the attack. I think I have to do damage to both of them. I'm just going to refresh my memory. When they do a melee attack, I think they both take the hits, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to look at that. Crew members who take damage. I just gotta look at each double. Let me look at this off camera. I'll be right back. Yeah, since we didn't do that, didn't defend either one of them. They both took that hit from that combat where we didn't kill it in the 1 shot. But we do then defeat the drones, and we're going to do some quick things here. Like here, we're going to discard this to restore 2 hit points. So we're going to discard that expired meds to put him back, Lieutenant Cook, back up to 10. And I think we're going to do this also, this expired rations, or stale rations rather, to discard to get 1 hit point back to Lieutenant Abbott. And then we're going to draw our 3 items and see what we get. What do we got? We got, a battle rifle. A rusty pipe. Once per round in close combat, when you miss, you may re-roll and apply the second results. We kind of have that. I didn't use our stuff, but we do have some of those things available to us, and a stun grenade. Ugh. This is challenging because we only have 4 equipment slots. How can I pass up on this bad boy, though? That's just crazy. I'd have to give something up. Now, I do have a fire rate of 1 or 2 in this, so I may just get rid of the... Ooh, that would be the ray gun. Maybe I get rid of the slug pistol from him. Oh, but then he has no slots left. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this stun grenade in range combat, discard to throw this grenade. This counts as a shoot action. The enemy is stunned. No members of the crew roll hit dice that round. That means they don't get hit back. So we're going to keep that. The question is, what do I do here? Do I take the pipe for Lieutenant Abbott? Do I get this other gun and maybe do some trades? We can trade items right now in between, I think. I'll look that up to be sure. But it seems like this is too good to pass up. Well, let me think about that, and I'll be right back. We can freely exchange items with other characters. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to... Now, he's got 2 items. We're going to exchange... Oh, God, this is so rough. Because I want to keep this. I do. Maybe this is the mistake. Maybe I don't want to keep that, but I think I do. I think we'll give the... Because this force field's too good. We're going to hand that off to Lieutenant Abbott. The ray gun really saved our bacon, though. I think I'm going to have to get rid of the ray gun. That means we'll have these stims, and we'll have this bad boy right here, which will then load with our items. Now we got a big giant slug pistol that has 2 ammo in it, and we get to reload our energy weapon, our emitter, for 3. Now we're fully loaded on gear. Oh, that was rough, but that was cool, and we're down to our very last basic card, our level 1 card. So let's see what we get. I'm still going to walk in with Lieutenant Cook. There's no reason not to. They're both at the same health. In fact, Lieutenant Cook is 1 healthier. What do we get? That looks wonderful. From the darkness ahead, you hear a series of rapid popping sounds, and a flurry of bullets whistle past your ear. Before you can react, there is another burst of fire, and bullets slam into your shoulder, knocking you down. You lose 2 hit points. So, Lieutenant Cook, who just gave up the force field ring, lost 2 hit points down to 8. Bummer. Okay. When silence falls, you edge forward to find the body of a man, his fatal wounds still smoldering. A contract has been fulfilled. A bounty, no doubt, must be soon to be collected. There is no sign of the assassin. So you lead the crew on a quick search for items of value. Draw 2 weapon cards. Or 2 cards. So we're going to get 2 items, though we're full. These better be better, or they're not going to be good enough. Discard to restore 1 hit point. Right now, I mean, Lieutenant Cook could do that. He's got this after rolling dice. I think I'd rather get some health than that. And we got this Chrono Bomb. After rolling any number of dice, discard to reroll. We got rerolls. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to keep this so we can heal. Healing is very important. All right, guess what? We have delved through the first level of the starship, of the sector, the ship sector we completed. Now we're going into the deeper, where it's more challenging, rougher on us here. Hopefully we can get to the end. We'll see. We're not doing too badly yet, but this gets tougher. Okay. Oh, that looks bad. Okay. Leading the crew swiftly onward, your boot catches a concealed switch. You turn in despair to see your crewmate disappear through a false floor behind you, plummeting into a foul-smelling trash compactor below. A moment later, there is the sound of heavy machinery, and the walls start to close in. To hack the controls and disable the crusher, this is again Lieutenant Cook, you must roll 3 wisdom attempts. That's his worst skill. Yeah. After each attempt, if the total has not been reached, all other members of the crew lose 1 hit point, unless they can roll might in 1 attempt to brace the crusher. If you have not succeeded after 4 attempts, you finally manage to deactivate the system by chance and drag your fellow crewmates out. This could be very bad for Lieutenant Abbott. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll Lieutenant Cook's die. If he rolls his 1 wisdom symbol, he will succeed in stopping it. We did not. So, that happens. So, he's going to take a damage unless he can roll might and halt the compactor. He does not. So, in the first attempt, we lose 1 hit point. We're down to 8. Now I have the force field ring, but that says you can lose to discard. I don't want to do that yet. We're not going to do that yet. We are going to re-roll this. Now, what is this thing? I think this only affects in combat, right? When we're rolling hit dice. Yeah. Okay. So Lieutenant Cook is going to roll again to try and get his 1 symbol. He does not, which I didn't think he would. And we're going to try and block it with Lieutenant Abbott. He actually does. He takes no damage from that one. That is our second attempt. Our third attempt for Lieutenant Cook. Oh, he succeeds. The third attempt, we drag him out of the compactor. He took no damage from that. That is amazing. But we got no stuff either. So that's the way. Them's the breaks, but we did drag him out. That is fantastic. Okay. We're going to do 1 more card, and then we're going to call this a little short episode, and we'll complete it in the next one, leave you with a bit of a cliffhanger, because we still have, as you can see, quite a few rooms to go through. All right, let's see what we get here. Whoosh. That does not look good either. See, we get down to the second level, it gets much, much more challenging and difficult. The walls of this section of the station glisten and writhe, overrun by some manner of alien tissue. Hey, that's like The Station. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to plug right now. Please watch my series, The Station. It is a short film series, horror sci-fi film series about a station, well, and about the people on it. The main character, her name is Anya Reynard, and I hope you watch it. It is developed with the use of AI tools, as well as a ton of editing and special effects, VFX and SFX. So please watch it. Okay, as you step cautiously through it, it seems to sense your presence, and acid begins to stream down from the pulsating orifices overhead. Oh, that's gross. Okay, each member must try to roll cunning in 1 attempt. Apply these results to each crew member individually. Success, heart pounding, you dodge. Failure, we're going to take damage. Okay, so let's go with Lieutenant Cook. Again, this is a cunning roll. He's not too bad with cunning. He could do it. Let's see if he gets it. He does not. So he is going to take a gush of acid rains down from you and sizzling. Discard 1 item or lose 2 hit points. We're going to discard, well, why not? This is only worth 1 hit point, so we're going to discard the med pack and not lose the 2 hit points. Now we get to move on to Lieutenant Abbott. Wait, I rolled the wrong die. That was Lieutenant Abbott's die. This is Lieutenant Cook's die. So let me re-roll that just to be fair. He missed. We're going to say that was Lieutenant Cook. And he would have had to give up an item or take 2 hit points. I think we'll give up the ring. That's blocks 2 hit points. So there, I did that wrong. I gotta make sure I got the right die in hand. And now we're gonna go with Lieutenant Cook, who has a better chance of succeeding. And he not only succeeds, but succeeds with flying colors and takes no damage. Okay, that was the next card. And we're gonna stop right there, y'all. I hope you enjoy Escape the Dark Sector. It's a fun little game. There's 2 games actually in the series that I'm aware of. There's Escape the Dark Castle and Escape the Dark Sector. One is fantasy-based. One is science fiction-based One does not have ranged combat like this, and this one does. So that's really the big differences between the two, plus a bunch of different scenarios and setups that you might encounter. Anyway, we'll stop there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you do enjoy this little playthrough of Escape the Dark Sector. It's just going to be 2 episodes, 2 quick episodes to enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. I probably should start to switch off who's going first because it might be helpful. Anyway, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.